Hey there, this is Sarah Jenkins, and I am here with Matt Cariveau with the Forward Foundation, and I want to welcome him on to the Beyond the Falls podcast. Matt, welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
I'm looking forward to hearing all about the Forward Foundation and how it helps our community. I think it's really important. I think it's important that people know that you guys are here and what you're all about. So,
sure.
Can you start off by telling us, a little bit about yourself, how you came to River Falls or what brought you here?
Yeah, I guess originally just moved here just due to family reasons. There were things going on, and there was an opportunity at the time for my spouse at the time to go to college here. So we moved here, and I've been here since. That was about 11 years ago or so.
Okay.
So I've been in town for about 11 years. I was working over in the cities for a while, and then through relationships I developed through town and connections, there was an opportunity to work in the technology department at the college. So I started there about almost 5 years ago. So I've been working in town, living in town for quite some time now, I suppose.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Nice short commute for you.
Yes, it's very nice.
That's good. Since you're here representing the Forward Foundation, can you just tell us your role and tell us what the Forward Foundation is all about?
Again, kind of through some of those same connections, it's kind of how I got to be on the board. So there was someone I knew that my son was in marching band in high school, and so there was someone that I worked with in marching band that was on the board, and then someone that works at the college, also doing different things within the community with 4-H and stuff, that also was a connection to the board. So through them is where I got introduced to the board. I've been on the board for about, I want to say, almost 3 years. I started before we did our first murder mystery fundraising event. So I just kind of came in, just kind of helped out where needed. Wasn't doing a whole lot. Just got to know kind of our grant review process and just kind of general. Just went to the meetings and just progressed. Past couple of years, I've been the secretary for the board. So that basically just mostly entails taking minutes, and also just continuing to help out with the fundraisers that we've done. Our main one, again, has been our murder mystery fundraiser, which has done pretty well for us the past few years. We will probably take a break from that one, but we've kind of shrunk in size a little bit as a board. So things used to be more broken out into committees.
Okay.
So that kind of groups of people doing different things, focusing on either finance or marketing or grant review and things like that. But we kind of have gotten to the point where most of us kind of have to put a finger into everything. So we're, one of our focuses here the next year or so is going to try to get out there, get the name out there, recognition for the board, and to try to recruit more board members.
Oh, okay.
So,
are you looking for board members this year, this upcoming?
Oh yeah,
year?
at any time, any time. Anybody can join the board really at any time. So you just, anytime you have an interest, go ahead and let us know, and we'll get you information, and you can kind of come to a meeting, see how things are going, and what we're about a little bit. And
when do you guys meet? Out of curiosity.
Well, I think we're shifting to the second Monday of every month is kind of where things are at. It's tough to pick a night. There's
Sure.
always something going on. Everyone's busy. Yeah. So we have been I think on the third Mondays, but I think are shifting now to trying to get to the second Monday. So if we can, we typically meet at the community room at the First National Bank.
Okay.
So otherwise we'll do virtual meetings. You'll have a virtual option if you can't make it, just to at least provide that flexibility.
Yep.
So
Zoom on in.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit more. How does the Forward Foundation, what do you guys do?
Well, our main goal is to provide $20,000 in grants to the teachers in the River Falls School District each year. Yeah, mission statement is like, innovative, creative, sustainable. The main focus in the past has kind of been on, if teachers want to try something in the classroom that they can't get funding for from the district, then we can provide that funding. But the goal of the funding in the past has not really been to like sustain those projects. It's been to kind of provide a, initial source for the funding, but if it's successful, then hopefully the district will take over the funding on that if there's, funding needed in the future. Okay. Sometimes there's just one-time costs and things in, different projects. And that, that's something that potentially could change in the future depending on, how the board decides, things are going and needs in the school district and things like that. But I think our main goal, so looking at some of the past documentation and kind of still where we're at now, the goal of the board has been to get to kind of like an endowment status. So we have trying to save up a certain amount so the fund can just be perpetually funded without having to raise money each year.
Okay.
And fairly close to that goal. The original goal was about $300,000, and so we're getting there.
Awesome. So those events are really a big deal for the Forward Foundation to be able to move in that direction.
Right. It just would make it a little easier for the future that you don't have to perpetually try to run these big events and fundraise and do those things. You can just make it about, focusing on, the grant application process and things like that.
Okay, so you said grant application process.
Sure.
So a teacher fills out the grant.
Yep.
And then tell me what that looks like from maybe the teacher filling out the grant to getting what they need in the classroom.
Okay, I can try.
As best as you can.
Sure. So we have typically a couple board members on the board that are non-voting members that are representative of the school district. As long as I've been on the board, it's been Gary Campbell. So he will generally be a little bit more of the communicator to the teachers, or help along those lines. So basically, an email will go out to the teachers, letting them know that the grant application process is open. So they'll have a link to go to fill out the grant, and they'll just have to explain, the different questions on there about, what do you want to do? How is it sustainable? Who does it benefit? Is it just a classroom? Is it, grade-wide, school-wide, district-wide? It can be all levels. There isn't necessarily a requirement, for it to how many or how little it supports, but it's just one of the things on there, just explaining, how it benefits the district, basically, or the students. Yeah. And so once those grants get filled out, then we as a board get together and read through them, review them, kind of compare them to the mission statement. Is it does it kind of fulfill what the mission statement is about? Is it something that maybe, if it's something that people are bringing to our attention, sometimes in the past we've, then gone to, Jamie Benson, the superintendent, and just said, hey, this is a need, we're not going to fulfill it, but, maybe it's a need that the district needs to fulfill. We feel like they should be able to find funding somewhere for it. Yeah. Things like that. So, it can be a tough process to try to whittle down and figure out, what you want to do. I think last year we had over 50 grants.
Oh, wow.
Applications.
That was going to be my next question.
So we had over like 50 grant applications, and I think we only funded about half of them.
Okay.
So we typically cap the grant request at $4,000.
Okay.
So anything up to that amount, and sometimes we look at something and we say, well, we'll fund this part of it, but not this part of it, or sometimes they'll have funding or support from somewhere else to provide part of the materials or work needed to fulfill whatever they're trying to do.
What are some of the projects that we maybe would have seen out there that maybe we're not aware of that you guys help contribute to?
Past couple of years, I think one of the things that I hear the board members talk about a lot is supporting the maple syrup production at the high school. So we've provided some of the equipment and things along those lines for them to be able to go to wherever they're going, nearby the high school or school forest or somewhere, and be able to produce maple syrup. So it's kind of a whole, there's a whole lot involved with supporting that, I think, from the student perspective, as far as them getting to get outside, learn, the physical aspects, and then they also have kind of the business aspects too of kind of producing it. And from what I understand, don't quote me, but I think from what I understand, it does end up either getting used in the school or, potentially donated locally. So it's kind of a, start to finish process there.
Full cycle.
Yeah. But we've done a whole range of things, from different curriculum. One of the things I think that was featured this past year in one of the local newspapers was the wood carving in the fall. So for whatever reason, got a lot of feedback from that, from people. So just some of the hands-on things, some of the things that maybe wouldn't have been done for these students, had the grants not been available.
Yeah. Oh, so awesome.
There's a ton more. I mean,
do you have a favorite one?
Some of like the hydroponics gardens.
Oh, cool.
At the elementary level, think of like the recent Earth Day things that we highlighted. We supported like a GPS unit for the high school for going through the school forest. Also, I think towards the elementary school, I think it was to Rocky Branch, where we funded about $2,700 towards equipment for like the Eco Week on the Kinney. But again, it can be a whole wide range of things. I think early on, some of the grants were focused a little bit on maybe the technology. The board was started about 2012.
Okay.
So if I look at some of the past grants, some of the things were like iPads and things like that for the classrooms, and some over time that stuff kind of evolves, the needs and things like that. So yeah, I'm sure I could look through it, after this podcast and say, oh yeah, I really like that, this and the other. But yeah, so I think there's just there's a lot of neat things, a lot of things we've done. Therapy dog, help supported the therapy dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Support for, I think, the CNC machine at, I think it was located at the Renaissance, if I'm not mistaken, but kind of related to somewhere in the high school area, there was a CNC machine. We also supported that for the middle school as well.
Yeah.
Like a portable CNC machine, I think last year. So it's just kind of things where, students can really get hands-on with things.
Yeah, it's awesome. And such a variety, like you said, anywhere from the wood carving project to from emotional support kids.
To curriculum support to everything in between. Just getting out there, supporting hands-on, and getting out in the field and all kinds of stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
So awesome. How does an individual donate if they want to help contribute?
Well, we do have a website, so it's forwardrf.org. We are in the middle, actually, right now of kind of revamping the website, but we have some basic functionality there. You can read a little bit about us. You can donate there. That just goes right to our Square donation site. We also have an email address, an email address on there if you have any questions, or we have a P.O. Box address as well if you wanted to send in a check.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would like to add?
I was kind of reading through some neat things in the past, kind of that we've had, that we have in our files. I know like in 2016, it looks like the board, I wasn't a part of it then, but the board did get the River Falls Nonprofit of the Year from the Chamber of Commerce. And Jamie Benson had a nice write-up that I think I might have to put on the website just for review. I think it just gave a good overview of what we do. And I think it I'll just even read through it here a little bit, and you can decide what you want to keep or edit out. But he was mentioning, Forward promotes creativity and innovation through its mission to support new classroom learning opportunities. At that time, this was 2017. Forward's grants provided funding for 70 different project proposals at all grade levels and in a variety of subject areas. At that time, we supported 3D printers, youth leadership experiences, student honoring veterans, solar cars, suicide prevention, elementary music instruments, Lego League, character education programs, and a lot of stuff since then as well. So I think, overall, I think it was a pretty good summary of, basically what, just this is the kind of different things that we fund and our goal. It's unfortunate, can't fund everything, but we try to do the best we can. And we're just, a volunteer board, made up of members of the community and we're human. So, some things, maybe some people don't agree with the decisions. It's just, some things, are subjective. It's just the nature of it. But it's working through some of the grunt work, trying to organize the fundraisers and do some of that, it can get, depending on what you're doing, it can get, tiring a little bit.
Sure.
Anybody that's served on a board have probably done this type of stuff. This is the first board I've been on, so it's kind of my first experience with it. We had a lot of work to do to get our, this past year's fundraiser going. Like this year, our goal is probably to try to get out at more events and just be present and be visible.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
recently we did the Earth Day event, and there's a lot of people that came to that as far, as an event. And so just talking to different people, that come up and see what we do, and, getting that feedback, right from the community. It's, I've never heard anything negative,
Yeah.
really. So it's, that's, that kind of helps energize you a little bit, getting out there and talking with people about what we do and getting, and seeing kind of the reaction and the feedback there. So it's, the board has, over the past 12 years, impacted a lot, I think, in the community.
Yeah.
And a lot that people don't know. And, as a board, I guess I'll mention too, that we are independent of the school district. Even though we're supporting the school district, we're not, we're just an independent board that supports, kind of out there supporting the teachers and the students.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's awesome. You guys are doing so much good around here, and it's appreciated. I know I've got kids in the school district right now, and I'm certain they're benefiting from what you guys are doing. So
I'm sure, my kids are all graduated now, but I'm sure there's been things that they have benefited from that I didn't even realize, and until later. So
yeah. Yep. Well, it's wonderful, and I appreciate you being on the show, Matt. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and talk to us.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, hopefully we can get, if anybody's out there interested, just, shoot us an email and we'll get you information about, volunteering on the board.
Yes, looking for spots. That'd be awesome. And I would love to have you back on as you guys get gearing up to the next event, whenever that might be. So we'll stay in touch for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Beyond the Falls podcast, and we'll see you next time.